Okay, we got the great Ghiblification debacle from Upper Echelon. Okay.
Okay. Anyone frequenting social media over the past week or so has very likely come across the Studio Ghibli art style
Yep.
explosion, I guess I'll
Mm-hmm.
call it that, which has taken over everything from memes to family portraits and even popular film trailers. To briefly explain what's been happening for
Damn.
those that
I didn't see the film trailers. Oh shit. Bro, this looks good though. Like, not gonna lie, I would watch this movie.
don't know, ChatGPT under OpenAI recently debuted their new imaging model and made it free as well, which was surprisingly competent for a number of different tasks, one of which is replicating the iconic style of Studio Ghibli. Studio Ghibli, for anyone unaware, is an animation studio that's been around for like 40 plus years. The work that they do is famous all across the entire world, and the level of intense detail and artistic labor required to make that work is astronomical. Every single frame of a Studio Ghibli movie is hand drawn at
Yeah.
24 frames per second. Even if you hold the same picture for multiple of those frames per second, well, we're talking tens of thousands of images made by hand just to animate simple sequences. And the results of that dedication are totally incredible. Well,
Oh yeah, it's amazing. Like, bro, Studio Ghibli is like one of, if not the most top tier like animation studio that I don't know, like I've ever seen. Like make it, and isn't it like they only make movies? I mean, I forgot if they made like actual shows or anything like that. I don't really remember, but they have a laundry list of movies just under their belt.
Well, it may be incredible, but the previously unattainable nature of that work, for the general public at least, appears to have changed, with basically anyone now being able to generate complex sequences or individual frames in the very closely replicated style of Studio Ghibli
Yeah.
using ChatGPT's newest model. Just to emphasize that, there's YouTube guides, even more, being published right now today as I make this video, with hundreds of thousands of views at least, detailing step by step instructions on how to create your own Studio Ghibli images. Like I said before, people are taking movie
What's this? How to make Ghibli style images free. Ghibli style AI, Ghibli image generator, simply learn with like 45K views. Damn. Man.
trailers and short videos, converting those as well. And the results of it all is a wave of Studio Ghibli fan creations all across social media,
Mm-hmm.
even as high as Sam Altman himself, the CEO of OpenAI.
Oh wow. What an absolute like fuck you to like Miyazaki. He's like one of the original like co-founders or founders or whatever of the studio. And dang. And I mean, this guy Sam Altman, he's like one of the original dudes that made like that helped create like OpenAI or Chat GPT. But uh, it's like you couldn't make this image without Studio Ghibli. Like you couldn't give the ability to Ghiblify everything without people already having to put work, time, and effort um into making the the reference material. So I mean, essentially, I mean the laws on this are just not are very fuzzy. They're not set in stone. So much is like up for debate because like this is like if I were to see this image, I'm like, oh, is this like a movie that Studio Ghibli did? This is like easily eye catching for like I mean at least me. I know like what Studio Ghibli looks like, but it's the laws that come into place where it's like you're using somebody else's like intellectual property to like just make your own shit is essentially what's happening. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of hard because I mean, I could like draw by hand. Like what if I just drew this image by hand and just like put it as my uh like profile pic? I mean, is there any really harm in that? I mean, I'd probably think not, but when I see like an obvious like person that has like no drawing skills at all, and all of a sudden, oh, I'm just gonna make this my little profile pic or something. It's like I would assume it's like, oh, you just did the AI Ghiblify thing and just copy paste, bang, there it is.
Who used the style for his little profile picture and reposted multiple images in that style to his timeline. Now, it's no secret here that I am a very, very vocal critic of AI programs. I think there's a tremendous amount of danger. I think the ramifications of job loss as a direct result of AI replacing humans in the labor force is a problem we're about to contend with very painfully. But I
Yeah.
also understand that the accessibility of being able to have artwork from your own mind at the press of a button is a very difficult thing to try and fight against.
I mean, shit, if I was Miyazaki, I'd be trying to sue the hell out of him. Like sooner rather than later.
Artwork, at least up until recently, conceptually, hasn't exactly been the most accessible thing to get. If you wanted something unique or customized, especially, but you weren't artistically inclined or skilled on a personal level, you
Yeah.
had to commission someone. That costs money, money typically proportionate to the labor, which could take many, many hours. And not only that, you had to also communicate with the person. You had to express what it is you wanted. They
Mm-hmm.
had to understand it, and then you get to the very painful process of revisions, which is a pain point for a lot of creative people. I
Yeah.
used to be one of them.
So like revision is like, okay, I'm a Joe Schmo nobody. I'm gonna go to like this artist person. They're gonna make something based off of like some initial bullet points that I provide for them. They're gonna come back with like a first draft, and then I'm gonna come back with like, oh, can you do this and this different? And then they go and they like make the modifications, and then they show you again, and it's like, okay, how about can you change this one little thing? And then they go back and then change something else. It's like, oh, can you change the light, the color, the this, the that, add this, take away that, and it's just like a constant back and forth of, can you change this thing? Can you change that thing? Um, yeah,
When they're trying to make something for a customer that's from the customer's mind. It's a complicated process. It costs money, it takes time, and there's kind of a finite amount of runway available to you because the artist can only really give you so much time and effort before things get to be just way too draining.
yeah,
At its best, the process will go smoothly but take time. But that's not always the case. And when you give people a method of having their creative visions, their own creative visions, come to life without the added financial burden, without the waiting period, and without basically any of the human tedium component brought on by the necessity that you communicate with an artist directly, it's pretty understandable that mass adoption would and will and does take place. And that
yeah,
a lot of people are now turning to this software for mass produced, easy, relatively cheap, and often decent quality images.
yeah.
Obviously, this kind of goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway. I think human made artwork is way better. I think it has more soul and it supports.
I mean, the whole soul argument, it's got more soul. Like, how do you like? That's like an amorphous thing you're just like grasping at. But I mean, I don't think I've seen enough like AI art. I mean, I've seen some, but I still think that I've seen more human art than I have AI art, and I don't think I've have left like, for like a game review, like the more like qualified your review is, like the more hours you put into the game. I don't think I've seen enough like AI art to give like a decent opinion on it, with like all the different models and like the constant updating of each model and whatnot. The whole the human aspect has more soul. I mean, what does that really mean? Like that just one common thing I see among human artists is that the more time you put into a project or whatever, the better it will be, right? So if soul is simply measured by like more time equal more soul, I mean, like I don't know. It's just a really tough argument to like try to get a hold of, because like you could make that same argument, like expand it to like more than just 2D pictures. Expand it to like, I don't know, like all that Grease shit or whatever. Like the Sistine, was it the Sistine Chapel with all that stuff painted on the ceilings and walls, or the statues. Um, what else? Like those crazy statues where it looks like there's like cloth. It's cloth on stone or something. Like stuff that looks really really good. It's kind of understandable to feel that, oh shit, that took a lot, probably took a lot of time or something like that. But I mean, AI, the job of AI is to take away and minimize the time component.
Careers in a way that truly matters for a whole lot of people. But when you offer the ability to press a button and make whatever you want, whatever you type in really visually come to life, no one should be surprised that it gets used. On a
Yeah,
philosophical level, in a vacuum, that's pretty straightforward, but it gets a whole lot less straightforward when you start talking about how the AI gets trained.
yeah,
As a really
yeah. Because you can't make something out of nothing for the AIs. I mean, you could kind of like forcefully do it, but like it would probably take like way way too long, because how all the AIs have been trained, it I think is that it's just simply, they're simply just going off of whatever's on the internet. And thus far everything on the internet has been like been done by a human. There's no piece of artwork or whatever that's like, I'm just like, there's no robot that's like, I'm just gonna go and make my own new unique original thing. It usually is like, it goes by prompts is what ends up happening for a lot of these AIs. So you type in a prompt, like for the frog, it's like, uh, generate an image, make it black and white of a frog on a lily pad, and the background is a forest, but put some earphones on him, like he's listening to music, staring straight at me. That would be something like the prompt.
generic explanation, which most people probably already know, AI gets trained on basically everything that humans have already produced. It scrapes
Yeah.
enormous amounts of data from the internet, collectively training on the past works of all humanity, really. In
Which also leads me to believe that, like, if you made some art and you did not put it on the internet, what about those pieces of art? I mean, this is just going back to the internet thing of like a pics or it didn't happen, or screenshots or it didn't happen, or video or it didn't happen. Um, I mean, it would. I think your art would be safe. It would if it was like never on the internet. But like the more time goes on, the more and more everybody just puts their stuff online.
order to then spit out replicated styles. But when you think of it that way, instead of just magic machine make artwork for me, the ethics get substantially more complicated.
Yeah.
If an artist spent their entire life, let's say, creating thousands of images, and those images are now training material for an AI program,
Hmm.
which then replicates the same style of image with new subject matter, the artist has been at least partially supplanted by that.
Yeah.
If the AI only costs, what, $20 a month, but makes an image comparable to what the artist would spend 3 weeks crafting individually by hand for a price of like thousands of dollars,
Hmm.
that's harmful. It's accessible, sure. The customer feels a perceived benefit, but the benefit comes at a cost. And when we start talking about Studio Ghibli, an iconic 40-year-old studio with millions of illustrations crafted by hundreds, more like thousands of individual artists over the span of decades,
Hmm.
the instant ability to replicate the work that they've done becomes more than just a meme.
Yeah.
Let me explain that. Alex O'Connor, the YouTuber, great channel, definitely go check that out, has a
Wait, here is an image of a full glass of red wine placed on a wooden table with a warm and cozy ambiance. Let me know if you'd like any changes for additional details. Show me a glass. Show me a full glass of red wine. Yeah, like, uh, is this a full glass or whatever? It's like kind of feels like half, but I mean, whatever. It pretty much did the thing.
really, really interesting video about this. But ChatGPT, right, for a
Yeah.
long time,
No, I said a full glass. Here is an image of a completely full glass of red wine filled to the very brim. Let me know if you'd like any further adjustments. And clearly, it's not filled. Like, this is obviously the brim. This is still like half. Like, and it's like it went slowly up, but AI still is not perfect.
Simply could not generate images of a wine glass that was either completely full or almost empty. The newest model, ChatGPT
Was it? Does that look like it's filled to the brim to you? You're right. It doesn't quite look like it's filled.
4.0 as of today when I'm making the video, actually can generate
Oh shit. Okay.
those images now. But for a long time, it couldn't, because the overwhelming majority of what it was trained on depicted a glass of wine as roughly half full.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, there were probably some images out there, floating around the internet where the glass was completely full here and there.
Oh wow. So the argument is, I mean, it's kind of essentially what I was talking about. If nobody puts up a glass of wine picture with only a couple drops in it, then the AI can't make it. Likewise, if nobody ever makes or puts any images online of a wine glass that is absolutely filled to the brim, the AI can't do it. Shit.
But when bulk scraping content, glasses of wine as like a key search term being used to train the program, whatever it found under that search term, they were pretty much always showing the same exact thing, which is a normal glass of wine half full.
Mm-hmm.
Because of that, the AI didn't know how to do anything different, even when repeatedly and very, very clearly prompted to create the kind of image where it's full or almost empty.
So it's like the AI will only work within the bounds of the prompt. It's like, let me see. If you tell the AI to do something, and this is like the prompt, depending on what you tell it to, maybe the images only cover like that are completely on the internet. Maybe the images are only cover like from here to here. Granted, that's still a lot of it, but like, what if you actually told it to do something over here or told it to do something over here and you're trying to like refine it, but nobody has made an image of that yet? So the AI is only going off of this, and it can't, it feels weird that it can't generate like from here to here, because isn't that like kind of like the general understanding of like image generation? Ah, man, I mean, that is weird.
It couldn't do it because the complexity of making something truly new, which it had never seen before, or
Mm-hmm.
at least seen extremely similar items, very similar, which are then used as a way to approximate, isn't possible for the AI to do.
Huh.
Well, when it comes to Studio Ghibli, the troubling implication that is behind how well it can replicate the style, when it comes to Studio Ghibli, there is so much content out there of characters and motions and landscapes and really everything you can think of over the years. It's actually not surprising at all that the AI can do such a good job emulating the style
Yeah.
if it trained on all of that data, which it, in my opinion, very obviously has. This is where we do have to speculate a little bit, but AI is rapidly approaching, in some cases it's already there, a point where you can generate something that is imperceptibly different than the actual work of the artist who originally makes that style.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we're basically at the point now where it can generate images and short videos that are indistinguishable from reality on top of that, which is
Generating images and like short videos. Okay. I mean, still within like it's still like not perfect, because I've seen like some of the stuff it like it's pretty good with like slow movements. The thing right now, as far as like movement goes, is that it still kind of sucks with like fast movements. It's got that, like if like you're talking about like a fighting scene or something like that, it still gets that AI blur to it. whenever, fast things like people exchanging punches or kicks or whatever. It's still like kind of wonky looking. Um, but as far as like slow movements, it is getting better. I mean, and the image generation are getting better. There's less and less six finger people rolling around. Um, yeah, I mean, you really have to try extremely hard to like look at an image and be like, is that AI? And this all happened within like a year or two, or I mean, or at least a couple years or something. We went from like Will Smith eating spaghetti, which looked like was like nightmare fuel, or like a like an Elden Ring type of boss, to like the new Will Smith eating spaghetti, which is like damn near like really close to being perfect. Um, I mean, and think about music. Like, what if you like? I think they were already coming to grips, like the music industry. They're already coming to grips with like most music has already been done, and even amongst like human made shit, it's hard for you to like make a brand new original song without and have it be completely original, like blah blah blah, and it not pull from like and you not be able to think of like another song part or something that kind of like goes back to that other song.
It's a whole separate problem. I call it the deep fake inflection point, but that's a different video. As we approach the point where AI can generate Studio Ghibli style images and animations for pennies on the dollar, what happens realistically? Well, the authentic work from the studio probably remains valuable to a large number of people on principle alone,
Mm-hmm.
thankfully. But if the artwork really is imperceptibly different, it takes a massive chunk out of their audience.
Yeah.
The mass production of similar or identical work cheapens things. And while I do fully understand that people are just having fun with it right now, it's not really just a meme. The founder of Studio Ghibli, in a clip that's now making the rounds as a result of so many people using AI to copy all of his work, actually has very harsh critique of AI programs in general. To be fair, he was being shown an AI that had demented movements for the purpose of a potential zombie game, I think, as the
Mm-hmm.
example. But the project that he's criticizing in the clip that I'm about to play is an AI endeavor to make an imaging application that would generate artwork as if someone drew it, like 8 years ago. Actually, it
I can't watch this stuff and find interesting.
has subtitles, so I'll just run it in the background visually.
Whoever creates the stuff has no idea what pain is or whatsoever. But I mean, the whole argument that he is making is that in order for you to like make something truly painful, you need to understand like what that thought process is and either empathize or sympathize with like pull from like your own life experience and like be able to like translate that into art. Whereas I don't know if normal people like really consider like the process of making a thing versus just consuming the final product of a thing, because I mean the whole argument against Miyazaki is already in your hand. Okay, phone, get off. Okay. It's a phone. Everybody has a smartphone, right? Most, if not almost all smartphones have cobalt in them, extracted from the cobalt mines in wherever the fuck it was in the world, and what do you call it? And it's like some sort of like slave labor was like used to like extract the cobalt from the cobalt mines, and they use that cobalt in your smartphones. And even though it's like a slave made made like, or it was able to pull like the minerals from the earth to build the parts to then put into the phone and all that jazz. It's like, because you buy a smartphone, does that mean you are supporting the cobalt mine slave labor? I mean, since everybody has a smartphone, I think like you could easily argue that like, oh, since I got a smartphone, I support the cobalt mine slave labor. Ugh. But you know, I think idealistically, like if people had a like two separate like smartphones, they're both the same smartphone, and like one was made with like the slave labor cobalt mine shit, but like the other smartphone was like that cobalt was made from like they just used like machines and there was like no slave labor and it was just like another job or whatever. I think people um and people were told about this, like, you know, like you people were arguing about like the food industry having a like a GMO or a non-GMO label on their food, genetically modified organism. The worry was that if there's a GMO label on the food, then like big like what was it? The big food, if well, not fast food, but uh what is it? What do you call it? Industrialized food, you know, like the potato chips and shit like that. Like those companies, if they had that label on their food, people would buy the food less. I mean, last time I checked, I don't see a GMO label on there anymore. Um, who knows if the label would actually help? I mean, you could look at cigarettes and look at like the Surgeon General warning on the label of cigarettes, but I think there's a lot of people that are simply not smoking cigarettes anymore. I don't know if that's because of the Surgeon General warning or was it the trend of like smoking cigarettes isn't really cool. I mean, plus, I mean, pack of cigarettes is like kind of expensive. Um, so, I mean, look at your clothes. Your clothes are also, I mean, shit. That probably all of this shit is like made in like China, Chinese sweatshops or whatever you want. Or, I mean, and I still like buy it, but like, does that mean I, what do you call it? Does that mean I support sweatshops? I mean, ideally, I would want to say no, but like, you're still buying the Chinese shirts from wherever the fuck. Um, eh, like, or same thing with like using Amazon. A lot of people use Amazon for like their packages, but Amazon is like vehemently against union workers, and they're always like up for questioning, um, on like the treatment of their workers. So like, since you use Amazon, does that mean you are also anti-union?
Visually, but he quite literally calls AI an insult to life itself, which is particularly striking when his iconic style is now extremely mass produced at scale by an AI program as a viral internet meme. The really difficult question is, what do we even do about this? Artistic style is incredibly hard to protect from a copyright perspective, and copyright seems to be the grounds that most people are trying to use to fight against the AI companies. But these AI companies are taking the approach of steal first.
I mean, because what is it? Nintendo, like video games are trying to engage in this. What was it with the Nemesis system, the Lord of the Rings game? Um, was it the Shadow of Mordor? They have a patent on the Nemesis system. All right, the thing where it's like you make a main character, they go through the story, and like the randomly generated. I don't know how it works exactly, but like you fight a bad guy, and if you kill him, or if you like try to kill him, like you cut his arm off, he'll like run away, and he'll be like he'll remember that, and he'll come back, and then he has like a fucking sword for an arm now, and it's like, oh shit. So it's like all of a sudden, whatever company made that Shadow of Mordor game, they have a patent on that mechanic, and no other video game can come up with like make another game with that system. All right, that's a really good system for like bad guys and shit. Nintendo, I think they tried to file, and I think they succeeded with the lawsuit against Power World. With the act of throwing like a round sphere at an like an animal and capturing it inside of the ball. All right, now all of a sudden, Power World, there's no balls being thrown anymore. They just like, I don't even know what the fuck happened to them. They like go like flash of white and then into their backpack or something. So it's like, if you do put a patent on like your specific thing, That makes it so only you can make that thing. So then it's going to be an issue of, I mean, like, and oh my god. So it's like I can't throw balls at animals anymore. I throw cubes? Can I throw pyramids? Can I throw cones and catch the thing? And it's just like a race to the bottom type of environment that we would be living in. Yes, it would be great for creators to be able to like make a thing, protect it with every single law that can help them, but then people are going to just simply try to like work their way around it because how do you protect like a style uh, like you could eat like what is style in terms of like 2D art? Like you could argue like its color palette, its tone, how many tones, like shading, it's the line art of like line width, and like messiness, like animation style. I mean, it's fucking Studio Ghibli. What are you gonna do? Like put a patent on like one frame for every 24 frames? Then no one else can make shit. Everyone else has to animate on twos or like one, two, one, two, one, or however. Like, how do you, like, how? Like, I'm all for like protecting like the original like artists of things, but like if you were to try to make laws on how to like protect your thing, like how do you do it? Like I think Nintendo or whatever studio made the Nemesis, like I think those guys are like absolutely retarded for putting a patent on the Nemesis system, putting a patent on throwing the Pokeball, and like no other video game you throw balls at animals and like catch them. Now it's like it's hilarious, dude.
Ask questions never. Perhaps there will be consequences, but potentially millions of hours of labor have now been almost certainly suctioned up into ChatGPT 4.0, leading to its uncanny ability to replicate the hard work of an iconic, globally famous studio. There's a lot of court cases now. I won't read them, obviously, I've done that before in prior videos, but there are tons of court cases making their way through the system because AI companies have scraped every single thing that they can get their grubby little hands on. When I say everything, I mean everything. They're even trained on child abuse content because the
Jesus.
approach is get as much as you possibly can as fast as you can get it from everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
full speed ahead, damn the torpedoes.
Yeah.
Even the
The video game saying of exploit early, exploit often brings the truest of truths right here.
White House got in on this Ghibli trend using the
Damn. The White House, the official White House Twitter.
art style as a way to mock a deported illegal immigrant on their Twitter page. Regardless of how you feel about that on a personal level, think about the people who actually made that art style. Think about a studio leader who abhors AI generally and thinks of it as an insult to humanity. But now the style he spent his entire life perfecting is being used all across the world as a joke in deeply complicated political topics, with anyone who wants to able to get closer and closer and closer to replicating it fully, even in video form, because everything you did was more than likely stolen and used as training fodder.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's a meme right now to use the Studio Ghibli style, but there's also baggage while doing that. Large language models are being advertised pretty actively as infinite creativity machines, which is partially true to a degree. But when given that type of capability, what is it that the majority of people actually go and do? Well, clearly, they take those infinite possibilities and simply copy what's already there. They take something that supposedly offers a limitless potential and then very holistically limit themselves to just copying or mass producing what existed in the first place. Sure, in this case, having a Studio Ghibli styled image was something previously barred behind time and most of all money,
Mm-hmm.
but we're talking about taking those barriers down, like literally all of them, across every visual medium over time. Again, for a lot of people, it sounds good on the surface, but sometimes things are beautiful because they're rare. Sometimes things have value because of the painstaking effort, time, and passion that were poured into them.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I'm 100% in agreement. I mean, but like, how do you combat like some of those other examples that I mentioned of like Nintendo versus Power World? and then put a patent on their fucking little Pokeball thing, or the fucking Nemesis system from Shadow of Mordor. No other video game can do something like that. It's like, what's next? Is all of a sudden, like, for like the shooting genre, someone's gonna go ahead and put a patent on, like, I don't know, like, what if like some of the earliest like looter shooter type video games put a patent on shooting someone in like a bunch of like loot popped out, and then you walk around and like the what if someone put a patent on the rarity system, like the most common rarity system in video games is like white, green, blue, purple, yellow, or orange, or whatever. That's like the most common thing of like a rarity. What if somebody put a patent on that? All right, there's so many video games that use that little thing. Or what if what do you call it? What if somebody actually put a patent on like the whole yellow paint thing in video games? You don't know where to go, just follow the yellow paint. Would that be the worst thing in the world if someone put a patent on that? I mean, who knows? um, but yeah, I mean, it's just I try to apply this example and think about like everything else in context of it. Um, but then once I do that, it's like it's hard to justify like protecting the one person, even though I want to. Like I want to protect that one person from like having AI just get trained on that style of art and like just generating a bunch of shit. Because to like a common person, they just see the final product and they don't know where it came from.
The novelty of, I can have a picture, this cute anime style seems innocent, but
Yeah.
AI significantly degrades that sense of value. Obviously, this problem has been happening for a while and it's consistently advancing, but the great Ghiblification debacle, as it's called in my view, is a really crisp example of human passion or creativity, despite any objection whatsoever, being soullessly mass produced at scale. With consequences, it's just, what are those consequences? How bad are they? And who are the ones that are going to be the recipient of them?
Is it the ultimate destiny of creativity to just be completely destroyed by AI? Well, not really like destroyed, but like if you sit there and like in front of like a white easel, like a white square, and you have the ability yourself, Joe Schmo, to be able to put anything on it. Is that the worst thing in the world? Likewise with music, likewise with a movie. You're just sitting there, you want to listen to something in a certain style. Okay, it's there now. Is that the ultimate destiny of like all forms of creativity? I mean, and extend this past images, past music, movies. I mean, and essentially, what do you get? You get, look at VR, or virtual reality, or even augmented reality. You can have your reality be whatever you want it to be. You know, given enough time and effort, and the prompt is long enough, and there's enough detail in the prompt, you could just like strap up VR, slap on the goggles, put on the haptic feedback suit, and it's just like, generate this reality for me. Is that what's going to be next?
I'm not going to sit here and condemn people for making their family portrait or whatever Ghibli style. That's, it's a fun thing to do. Like, I'm not faulting anyone for doing that. But I do think that a surface level internet trend, replicating the style of an iconic animation company in this case, is indicative of something much, much, much more sinister and thought provoking beneath the surface, right? It's a fun thing that a lot of us see on the surface and interact with, but deep down, like, it carries some connotations. Like, there's thought-provoking stuff that's happening here behind this trend. That's it. Let me know down in the comment section what you think. This was a more philosophical video as opposed to analytical, I guess, but
That's
it
pretty
was a
cool.
fairly requested topic, and I felt like weighing in, even if I am significantly late to the party on this topic. But whatever.
Same.
If you want to support the channel, check out the links down below. A special VPN deal, locals and Patreon, monthly memberships, merchandise, social media, et cetera, tons of stuff. But I'll cut it there and stop rambling. As always, thank you all for watching. Question everything, and have a nice night.
Draft. um, yeah, man, it's a good question. I mean, I don't have the answer. I don't know how to get the answer. Um, I mean, it's fun to talk about as like a topic, just to go like back and forth on of like either pro AI or no AI. I mean, it's a great little talking point for sure, and I think it's interesting. It's worth it to expound upon it, expand upon it, try to tackle it from every different angle. I think it's great, but I mean, as far as the morality of it, shit, that's so like enigmatic to me. Um, but yeah, great video, man. Keep them coming. But yeah, other than that, I'll catch you guys on the next one. All right, later.